You're listening to the Democratic Voice of Burma. This is DVB English News. I'm Joe. In this week's briefing, resistance drone strike on military airbase in Mandalay Region. Regime leader visits drone manufacturing facility during China visit. Attempts to stop currency depreciation. Myanmar citizens renew passports with National Unity Government office in South Korea. Cyber scams increasingly targeting Western countries. Plus, how to stop online harm and abuse in Myanmar. 6 military personnel were injured at the Shantae airbase in Machila Township of Mandalay Region, located 138 kilometers south of Mandalay City. 2 Harbin Y-12 aircraft and 2 buildings were also damaged during a drone strike by resistance forces on Monday. A spokesperson from a group calling itself the Machila Revolution Force told DVB that it hit military targets. He added that 24 drones were deployed in the attack on the military Shantae airbase. The most significant damage reportedly occurred at the production units adjacent to the airbase. Regime media has not reported on the attack, but it did report that regime leader Min Aung Hlaing paid a visit to a high-end drone manufacturing facility in Chongqing on November 8th. This was during his first trip to China since the 2021 military coup. Min Aung Hlaing returned to Myanmar on November 10th. Jared Bissinger, a development economist who has spent the last 15 years specializing in Myanmar's economy, spoke to DVB. He criticized the regime's economic policy of selling US dollars to combat the depreciation of the Myanmar kyat.
The regime is printing money. They're operating this foreign exchange system, which can also contribute to inflation. And then there's just increased costs for certain things like logistics due to conflict. And the combined effect of these things is very significant. And then on top of that, you have a decline in labor protections for workers. And so all of these things together have really resulted in a significant effect and a significant decline in the situation for ordinary workers.
That was Jared Bissinger, a visiting fellow at the ICAS Yusof Ishak Institute in Singapore. DVB data collected up to November 6th states that the regime has sold 1.5 billion USD, 156 million Chinese yuan, and 4.5 billion Thai baht. This is an effort to stop currency depreciation. The US dollar exchange rate reached a high of 7,000 kyat in August, but has now dropped to 4,500 kyat. The price of basic commodities have been on the rise since Chinese authorities closed most border gates in Shan and Kachin states. The Myanmar embassy in Seoul told Myanmar citizens in South Korea not to renew their passports using stamps issued by the National Unity Government. The NUG representative office in South Korea has started issuing stamps to extend the validity of Myanmar passports for an additional 2 years. The regime representative at the Myanmar embassy in Seoul called the NUG issued stamps illegal. The NUG established its representative office in South Korea in September 2021. Its representative offices have been opened in the US, UK, Australia, Japan, and Czechia. The NUG added that it is assisting Myanmar citizens who have faced visa-related issues in South Korea. Jason Tower, the Myanmar country director for the United States Institute of Peace, spoke to DVB. He said that cyber scams operating in Myanmar have increasingly started to target Western countries. This follows crackdowns on cyber scams near the Myanmar-China border late last year and earlier this year.
So they're targeting high-income countries, but then also they're targeting countries where it's relatively easy to access labor, or where that so-called market, and again, I'm using this in a very loose way, but where, demographics align such that the scam compounds would have an advantage in targeting that particular market. So English-speaking countries are getting hit the hardest. The US, the UK, Canada, Australia, parts of Europe are all reporting growing numbers of victims.
That was Jason Tower, the Myanmar Country Director for the United States Institute of Peace. Cyber scam compounds have expanded into new areas of Shan and Karen states in recent months. The UN has documented that at least 120,000 people have been trafficked into Myanmar. Some may be held in areas where they are forced to carry out online scams. A new cyber safety campaign called Stop Online Harm was launched with a website, Facebook page, YouTube, and podcast channel. Its aim is to advocate for change from global technology platforms and governments. It also offers an online ambulance to deal with issues such as mental health, technology, and legal support.
Technology facilitated gender-based violence, it refers to this harassment or abuse or violence often conducted through the digital platforms, which targets each individual based on their gender, and also often affecting women, girls, and LGBT plus individuals. So this form of violence use technology to perpetrate power imbalances, harm, and discriminations, and it also includes a variety of behaviors aimed at intimidating the victim, the survivors.
That was Hetty, the program lead at Stop Online Harm. In 2023, several women pro-democracy activists came forward about how their personal information was leaked online by pro-military accounts on the messaging app Telegram. UN experts stated that pro-regime accounts have taken advantage of Telegram's lax content moderation rules and are posting violent and misogynistic content. This is causing women in Myanmar to retreat from public life. The UN added, "Stay tuned to DVB English News for the newsroom interview featuring Hetty from Stop Online Harm." That's it for this week's briefing. I'm Joe. Tune in every Friday to DVB English News. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Audible, or Amazon Music. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. And subscribe to the Daily Briefing newsletter for the latest on what's happening in Myanmar. Find it on our website english.dvb.no. DVB English News is on X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for listening.